morning and welcome to the Environmental Nature Center. What a beautiful spring day, even though we've had a little bit of rain, but of course that's going to add to the beauty as we go through this spring. Thank you for joining us today for our 15th annual Fall Fair. I'm Bo Glover, the Executive Director of the Environmental Nature Center.
And I'm Lori Whalen, the Assistant Director of the ENC.
Throughout this past year, our dedicated staff and interns have worked hard to keep the Spring Fair tradition alive for our community. The funds we raise today are dedicated to the most important thing I can imagine, and that's connecting our community to nature. People will conserve what they understand and love, and we work every day to make those connections, because conserving our planet's resources and biodiversity is vital to our continued existence. So thank you for partnering with us. We could not do this without you, and we're all in this together to help save our planet. Whether you're a Spring Fair sponsor, or if you purchase a Spring Fair to-go bag, or if you're bidding on our online auction, which there are some fantastic things in our online auction, make sure you check that out. Or even if you're just telling your friends and family about the ENC, you're helping us to make that difference.
Speaking of the Spring Fair to-go bags, I'd love to show you what is in them because I am so touched by the generosity of our community businesses who generously donated items to be included. Also, we're making them available for purchase through the coming weeks, so you still have a chance to get your hands on one. So here is what you could soon have your hands on. You have your choice between 3 different plants. I chose a yarrow for mine. You also get a cute little butterfly stick. And this is Raising Cane's, a free kids combo. We also included craft supplies, enough for at least I think 3 kids to make, or adults, to make this butterfly craft. A bag of chips from Rusty's Island style chips. Delicious. A butterfly book. Everybody loves butterflies. A butterfly dish towel. It's kind of like a chamois for your dishes. Ooh, naked grandma pepper jam, also delicious. I'll never see that again.
That'll be mine.
With on cream cheese with a cracker, not bad. And we also have a sugar cookie recipe from Sweet Shack with a butterfly cookie cutter. A cool fishbone face mask. Some poppy seeds from Mesa Water. Thank you all of our sponsors. Some tomato seeds from OC Fair and Event Center. You can have your own garden just by buying this bag. Some Tea Book lemon ginseng tea. The ginseng will help you with your memory to remind you to come pick up your bag after you purchase it. This rock is not included. Free fish taco from Wahoo's. Yum, yum. And then, oh wait, after you've eaten all of this delicious food, a toothbrush and tongue cleaner from Bao Tea. And this is a really neat little suction cup doohickey to put your toothbrush up on like a smooth surface so you don't get all kinds of germs in it. Nobody wants a germy toothbrush. Our lovely ENC Nature Preschool students made these crayons out of recycled crayons into a new crayon because we teach about recycling here and we like to be creative. Okay, cleaners for the craft. Oh, here we go. This is super cool. Simply Straws, our sponsors at Simply Straws donated these reusable straws, reusable glass straw, and what do you call this? A thing to put all of them in, a little pouch so it doesn't get dirty.
A caddy.
A thing. I'll save the best for last. Not that they're all that awesome. Hint donated some natural deodorant. This is where we clean your teeth and we clean your pits. And Routine also donated a natural deodorant sample. So not going to smell bad, and your mouth is going to be clean. And then when you want to get it dirty all over again, you go to Keen Coffee and get 25% off of your cold brew. But then remember to brush your teeth again afterwards. Now, last but not least, of course, you get a ENC coaster, tree cookie coaster, branded by our own executive director, Bo Glover, and painted by assistant director, Lori Whalen. So that's our to-go bag. Don't forget, you can still purchase them through the end of next week. I hope you'll support these businesses that support environmental education in our community. I also want to encourage you to bid on items in our live auction going on right now. There are all kinds of amazing items donated by local businesses, something for everyone.
There's a Birds of Prey release that you can buy with that, right? All-Star Trio band can come to your any event that you desire, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Isn't there a breakfast at the ENC?
Yeah,
or a
brunch at the ENC, animal ambassador photo shoot. What was my favorite thing? I probably want the Bird of Prey release. If anyone would like to bid on the Bird of Prey release and gift it to me, I'd be really happy.
It's a magical experience. I've experienced people releasing those birds, and it's something that they will remember for the rest of their lives. So please bid on that. And again, thank you to all of those that donated to our to-go bags and donated to our online auction. But I'd especially like to thank our sponsors for our Spring Fair event and the success of the Spring Fair and events that we have here at the Nature Center throughout the year could not have happened without the help of our generous sponsors. Our sponsors for this year's Fall Fair include Peter and Helen Maxwell, just a wonderful, wonderful couple that supports the Nature Center in any way that they can. Brian Cessalini, the Blanchard family, Farmers and Merchants Bank, the Wandrock family, Newport Balboa Rotary, Fountainhead Development, Sean Sons, Janet Krockman, CPA, as well as Newport Beach Porsche and Tarantino Landscape. Thank you all so much for your generous support, not only for this event, but throughout events here at the Nature Center throughout the entire year. The Nature Center preschool teachers and our ENC naturalists have continued to connect our community to nature throughout this past year. You know, it's been a very tough year for all of us, and it's very, very interesting to look back at the past year and all of the sacrifices and transitions that we all had to make throughout this. But something that I'm most proud of is that our preschool never closed. We remained open to the children of essential workers throughout the pandemic, and of course now we're back to maximum capacity, seeing those kids out there on a daily basis coming through the Nature Center throughout the day. It's a reminder every day as to the importance of the mission of the Nature Center. Our ENC naturalists never stopped connecting our community to nature. They transitioned very quickly to provide virtual programming for the students throughout Orange County. Distance learning programs were established. Our summer nature camps happened last summer, and I think we're almost to capacity for this coming summer of nature camp. One of the big transitions that we made, knowing that schools would have a very difficult time in doing field trips throughout this past academic year, we established before and after school nature camps. And I think it really was a blessing for the families, especially those that were going to full-time virtual school, to have an opportunity to get outdoors, to connect with the natural world and connect with some of their fellow children, and seeing those children participate throughout this year really reminded us of the importance of what we do here. And we've done a tremendous amount of expansion of our community programs, from many little naturalist programs to nature plant walks, just all kinds of activities that we're having here at the Nature Center so that we can continue to connect our community with nature. We've resumed teaching traveling natural programs in school. They're having a hard time transitioning through the pandemic as well, but I think we're providing some resources for them to kind of get back to a bit of normalcy. And some classes and scout groups have been able to visit us here in person for field trips. Once again, I drove up the other day, and I actually saw a school bus here for the first time in a very, very long time. And it was a very, very special day here at the Nature Center when that happened. I know many of you have been anxious to be able to visit the center on your own and walk the grounds. We've tried to keep a bit of separation between the general public and the groups that are coming here for the educational programs. I am excited to announce that we will be beginning in June, opening up to visitors on Saturdays and Sundays between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. So please come and visit. The center is absolutely gorgeous, as you can see behind Lori and myself right now. And we look forward to seeing you here at the Nature Center. One last thing I'd like to talk about is, our amazing members and supporters have made it possible for us to continue that mission of providing quality education through hands-on experience with nature. And we do need to ask you, our community, for your continued support. We need that support to provide the essential educational services that we provide. So please visit our website and donate, or visit the online auction. As we described before, there's some fantastic things being auctioned off. There's a link on the front page of the website. The website is encenter.org. Just go right on there and you can click right to the auction site. Peruse those amazing items that we have up for bid, but hurry, because the auction ends today at 3 p.m. So thank you again to those generous online auction donors, and bid it up. You're supporting our education programs, and you're going to go home with some fantastic, oftentimes once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that you can have here at the Nature Center, and you're going to support what we do here every day. I'll turn it over to Lori.
There are also some really cool, exciting ways you can help support the Nature Center and Nature Preschool coming up soon, still in May and in June. We have literally this coming Friday, May 21st. Yep. Our virtual wine taste. I gotta check. Our virtual wine tasting. We have High Time Sommelier, Dan Williams, who's going to be showing us 3 different wines. You pay $100 for your ticket. You go to High Time, you pick up your wine, and you watch Dan and interact with a small group of people wine tasting on May 21st. So you could buy those tickets online now. There's a link through our website to buy them on High Time's webpage. We also have, very exciting, on the first weekend that we're going to be open to the public for the first time in over a year, we're having an event, because we're cool like that. So SoCal Papa artists are going to be here for an art show and sale. You can come walk the grounds, look at the art, just enjoy the day. If folks buy art, we get a percentage of the art sales, and that'll be both June 5th and 6th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So our normal hours will be 10 to 3, but this weekend we're going to be open from 10 to 4. And then last but not least, if anyone attended this event a couple of years ago during the first year we did it, you're going to be thrilled to know that we're doing it again. Everyone loved it the first time. Our wine walk is going to be on June 26th. So you're going to purchase your ticket. You could get a single ticket or a ticket for 2, bring a friend, and we're going to have staggered arrival times, so not everybody comes at once, to keep everyone safe. Then we're going to walk the grounds, and you can stop at different tables throughout the Nature Center and sample some nice boutique wines that we've curated for you with our friend Beth Adams from Addie Rose Vineyards. So we have this excellent event coming up. We hope you guys will join us for one or all of those. And all of the information about these can be found on our website as well, encenter.org.
So coming up next, we have the Sweetwater Creek Band performing live from our fire pit area up near our building. So stay tuned after that, because I will be announcing the winner of our Summer Nature Camp t-shirt design contest. We had some wonderful entries this year, and we're really excited to announce that winner. So why don't you follow Lori and myself, and we'll show you the way. up to our fire pit to enjoy the Sweetwater Band.
Literally to the fire circle stage where they would be playing if you were all here with us.
Lori, maybe on the way you could show us what's in bloom right now.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I'm sure while you guys were watching us talk about all those things, you noticed the bush mallow in bloom. It's crazy beautiful right now. Always a sure thing to see pollinators on it. I'm watching bees pollinating it right now. The buckwheat is about to go off. You see a couple of them right here that are already starting to bloom, but all these are flower buds. Certainly they'll be in bloom by the first weekend of June when y'all can come visit us. This is Hooker's Evening Primrose, which is a really popular plant once it goes to seed with seed-eating birds. They're just all over the top of it. We have California Encelia, which is one of the plants you can choose to have for yourself if you purchase an ENC to-go bag.
And there's a rabbit.
And a rabbit just chilling.
Chilling right there.
Does that come with the plant? No, it doesn't.
Oh, even the elderberry flowers are in bloom. We're going to have some elderberries come this fall because these flowers will be pollinated. And then we'll make some lovely elderberry syrup. There is a bladderpot in bloom. A noisy bird above our heads, not afraid of us at all. Here we come. There's a mock orange in bloom over there by our propagation area. Those white flowers.
Wow, that's going off.
Yep. They smell good too. And I believe this is purple sage. Salvia lucopola. Watch your head. We brought the internet with us.
Ready for some feedback?
Take it away.
Yeah. Yeah. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. 17 cents is the way where the last 17 cents is all I got. The grocery bills, the heat and the rent. All I got left is 17 cents. 19, 18, 17 cents. 30 old dime and a penny spent. I ain't seen nothing of my darling since she left me here with 17 cents. Well, down the road and around the bend, looking for gold at the rainbow's end. Over the fields and under the fence, pockets are lined with 17 cents. 19, 18, 17 cents. 30 old dime and a penny spent. I ain't seen nothing of my darling since she left me here with 17 cents. Oh, yeah. I got a letter from the IRS who rolled back to 17 cents. Wish I had all the money to spend. Instead of bringing in 17 cents. 19, 18, 17 cents. 30 old dime and a penny spent. I ain't seen nothing of my darling since she left me here with 17 cents. Went to Nashville and wrote me the song, and I put it on the record with Bill and John. Bill Monroe and Joseph Spence. Royalty check, 17 cents. 17 cents buys a cup of Joe. Take it home over the road. Never did find out where they went. To buy 6 things for 17 cents. Buy anything for 17 cents.
Get one of our train songs out. Coming up are some tree songs.
Yay!
to mix it up with the gospel tune. All right, here we go. Lean forward.
I've got sweet heaven in my view, hallelujah. And I'm on my way, I presume. Yes, I'm on my way to that city. I've got sweet heaven in my view.
Oh, I love to sing and to shout. Oh, I love to shout and pray. Oh, how I love to sing Jesus. I'm getting closer every day.
I've got sweet heaven in my view, hallelujah. And I'm on my way, I presume. Yes, I'm on my way to that city. I've got sweet heaven in my view.
Now you can talk about me, talk about the only way. But when you hear me call your name, you'll be on my knees.
I've got sweet heaven in my view, hallelujah. And I'm on my way, I presume. Yes, I'm on my way to that city. I've got sweet heaven in my view. Thank you. Sweet heaven in my view. I'm gonna do a tree song instead.
No, we can that's more appropriate.
It's kind of a sad song. Kind of happy, sad. Maybe it's both. Be a tree song here for sure.
Following that will be a flower song. All right.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. My heart is sad and I am lonely for the only one I love. Where will I see her? No, never. Till we meet in heaven above. So bury me beneath the willow under the weeping willow tree. So she will know where I am sleeping, and perhaps you weep for me. She told me that she really loved me. How could I believe it untrue? Until the angel softly whispered, she will prove untrue to you. So bury me beneath the willow, under the weeping willow tree. So she will know where I am sleeping, and perhaps she'll weep for me. Tomorrow was our wedding day, oh God. God, where can she be? She's out of courting with another and no longer cares for me. So bury me beneath the willow under the weeping willow tree. So she will know where I am sleeping, and perhaps she'll weep for me. Told you what kind of song.
And the sky is weeping a little bit.
Up to you guys. We could if you want to go in because of the drizzle, then we can take a little break. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do one more.
This will be your last one. All right, great.
That's
Might as well finish this set with another tree song, Tall Pines. So mine too, as well. One, two, one, two, Once in my youth, I stood on a mountain and planted some pines in the sand. Every day I looked their way, but I just didn't understand why they never grew like I wanted them to. I just couldn't understand why. Now I run this whole world every day. I just haven't by tall pines, reaching out for the clouds. Tall pines, I bet you wouldn't know me now. I'll never forget the morning I left, the hum of the bees in the hay. The farther I walk, the louder they talk, outside and it seems here today. There's the old rail fence that we built in triumphs, surrounding the old family graves. Now there's one gravestone standing all alone. They're waiting to meet me in the same. Tall pines, reaching up for the clouds. Tall pines, I bet you wouldn't know me now. Tall pines, reaching up for the clouds. Tall pines, I come home to sleep beneath your boughs. Oh!
Woohoo!
Cover. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, thank you. Great, thank you so much.
You have that stuff on your Facebook page, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all
so
on our
check their
Facebook and
Facebook
Instagram pages.
We are Sweetwater Creek Band, and we thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
We gotta get these all covered up, so. Oh, man.
All right. So if you guys want.
Hi everyone, thank you for attending our virtual spring fair here at the Environmental Nature Center. My name is Raquel and I'm our early childhood education specialist. And today I'll be showing you the instructions for our butterfly craft that goes along with our butterfly story this year. So the materials that you're going to need are a pipe cleaner, a circular white coffee filter, a cup or jar halfway filled with water, and then any color regular washable marker. So we will be making a chromatography butterfly, and chromatography is a method that scientists use to separate a mixture. So the mixture that we're separating are the ink or the colors inside of the marker. So our first step is to pick a colored marker. I'm going to use black, and you're going to color a circle right in the middle of your coffee filter. And you want your circle to be about 1 inch in diameter. So you're going to color a circle in the middle, and then you're going to fold your coffee filter in half and in half again, so it kind of looks like a triangle. Then I'm going to set my coffee filter inside of my cup, and you can open it so that it stays put, and you just need to put the tip of the triangle into the water. So not very much, just the tip of the triangle. Now we can observe what's going to happen as the water moves through our coffee filter and starts to separate the mixture or the colors inside of the ink. And you want to leave it just long enough to, as you see the colors rise to about the top of your coffee filter. So about 10 minutes. When that is done, you can lay your coffee filter out to dry. So here is our finished product. Our colors have separated, and you can see all the different colors that were inside of that black ink. So it looks pretty special. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch the middle of my coffee filter so it kind of looks like a bow, and then take my pipe cleaner and put it in the middle to keep it all together, and then twist it so it stays, and then I can bend my butterfly's antenna, and there you are, our chromatography butterfly. You can see the procedures and the materials for this inside of your Spring Faire to-go bag if you got one of those. And also make sure you check out our other video with our butterfly story to go along with our craft. Thank you.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Am I getting a 30-second count?
I think you're live now, actually.
As part of our goals to enhance diversity, equity, and inclusion practices here at the ENC, we are always looking for new ways to increase accessibility to our summer camps. While we have always provided camp scholarships to children from Title I schools and those of economic need, we would like to find funding sources for these scholarships because sometimes they're fairly unpredictable. This year we saw an opportunity to link our camp culture to the theme of and launched a camp t-shirt design contest this spring. Youth from all around our community submitted designs. What fantastic designs they were. Related to that theme of nature for all. And we're pleased to announce the winner of this year's contest is Chloe Kim. And here's her design. We will be directing 100% of the proceeds from camp t-shirt sales into our camp scholarship fund, and are excited to launch this initiative as a new sustainable way to provide access to our camps. Additionally, Abrams Coastal Properties will be matching our t-shirt sales. They are generously donating $20 for every $20 t-shirt purchase. We're thrilled to partner with Abrams Coastal Properties. They've been longtime supporters of the ENC, and this is just another way they're providing resources for their community and our community. And we really want to make sure that we're reaching out to these underserved communities in Orange County and providing them access to nature. Thank you for your design, Chloe, and thank you to all the young naturalists out there who submitted their amazing artwork. So here's a slideshow of all those other submissions. You can see what a tough choice we had.
Hi everyone, my name is Raquel and I'm our Early Childhood Education Specialist here at the Environmental Nature Center. And today I will be reading you our featured book for the Spring Fair, Senorita, Mariposa by Ben Gundersheimer. And this story is all about the migration of the monarch butterfly. Little butterfly, you just caught my eye. Little butterfly, flying through the sky. I love to see you in the trees, playing with the bumblebees. Your pretty orange wings make me want to sing. Little butterfly, you're so beautiful. Little butterfly, you're so powerful. I love you. It's hard to say goodbye, but I know you have to fly. 60 miles or more a day. We will see you on your way. Can't believe how far you go on your way to Mexico. Over mountains, capped with snow, to the desert down below. Then one day, a great surprise, there's a flash across the sky, beating wings warmed by the sun. Can't believe how far you've come. You're so brave, you're so strong. Your journey is a miracle. I admire you so much. What a bright, beautiful sight. Monarchs fill me with delight. How nice to have a million friends. The butterfly fiesta never ends. Little butterfly, you're so beautiful. Little butterfly, you're so powerful. I love you. The end. And friends, we have a special craft to go along with our story today, so make sure you check out the instructions for our butterfly craft as well. Thank you.
Hola, mi nombre es Hugo y gracias por acompañarnos esta primavera aquí. Hoy vamos a leer Senorita Mariposa, escribido por Ben Gundersheimer, Mr. G y Marcos Armada Rivero. Pequeña mariposa, llamaste mi atención. Pequeña mariposa volando por el cielo. Me encanta verte entre los árboles, jugando con los abejorros. Tus bellas alas anaranjadas me inspiran a cantar. Señorita mariposa, tú eres muy hermosa. Señorita mariposa, tú eres muy poderosa. Te quiero a ti. Es difícil decir adiós, pero sé que tienes que partir. Por más de 60 millas al día, te veremos en tu camino. No puedo creer lo lejos que vas en tu camino a México. Sobre montañas cubiertas de nieve, a los desiertos abajo. Algún día, una gran sorpresa. Hay un destello en el cielo, las alas calentadas por el sol. No puedo creer cuánto has viajado. Tú eres muy valiente, tú eres tan fuerte. Tu viaje es un milagro, te admiro mucho. Qué espectáculo tan brillante y colorido. Las monarcas me llenan de gozo. Qué bonito tener 1 millón de compañeros. La fiesta de las mariposas nunca termina. Señorita mariposa, tú eres muy hermosa. Señorita mariposa, tú eres muy poderosa. Te quiero a ti. Y eso es todo. Gracias.
everyone. My name is Mindy Schwartz, and I'm the Education Director here at the ENC. I'm hanging out here by our Desert Tortoise exhibit, where some of you know our Desert Tortoise Waffle lives up here. He's not out right now because of the rain. He's kind of hanging out in one of his caves. But I'm so happy to be here today to introduce a very special author who's joining us today. We are so lucky to be joined by Cindy Jensen Elliott. Hi, Cindy.
Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Good.
Cindy is the author of 17 nonfiction books for children with an 18th on the way in the fall of 2022. What can you tell us about that book, Cindy?
That is a book for kids 9 through 14, and it is about the two scientists who, a father and son, who figured out how dinosaurs died out. So it's for a little bit older kids. It's going to be part graphic novel or graphic nonfiction and part narrative nonfiction with a lot of information thrown in.
That sounds awesome. I hope to get a copy for our library to have here at the ENC.
Thank you.
Well, Cindy, I see here that when you're not writing, you're teaching science as a middle school teacher, and you're also I'm writing to adults and children. And in your free time, your favorite things to do include gardening, swimming in the ocean, and going for long walks with your kids.
Yes, indeed.
What's been your favorite sign of spring this spring? What do you notice right away where you're like, I know spring's coming?
My favorite are the sweet peas. I always plant sweet peas in January, hoping that they'll be ready by Mother's Day. And this year I had a whole wonderful crop. Sometimes I forget what I plant in the winter, and then when they come up, it's like just a surprise. And so sweet peas, the smell, I wish you could smell it if you guys could smell this through the computer, but they have such a great smell, and it's just so delightful when they're all over the place.
I wish we had smell of it.
You can imagine.
Well, Cindy, we're so happy to have you here to do a live reading of one of your books, so you can take it away whenever you're ready.
I am excited too. And so what I'm reading today is Dig In, and it's all about digging around in the dirt. And so when I'm done reading it, I'm going to turn my camera onto my garden. My garden is really messy, by the way, since I'm a teacher and a mom and do all kind and a writer. It's really hard to keep the garden up, but I just try to keep my garden as a place that I can really enjoy being in, even though it's weedy. So I think we'll enjoy seeing what we can find among the weeds and in the dirt today after we read the story. So this is Dig In. Words by Cindy Jensen Elliott, that's me. And the pictures are by Mary Peterson. Mary Peterson does a kind of art called block printing. She does it all by hand. None of it is digital. And Mary lives up in Los Angeles. And so she and I never met before this book was completed. But afterwards, we've gotten to do a lot of events together. So dig in. And this is for one of my kids who loves mud. That's a dedication. And the dedication for Mary Peterson says, to Josie in her garden with pansies. I dig in the dirt and find a worm. I bet a lot of you have found worms before. Everybody make a worm out of your finger. Worm wiggles. Let's wiggle your worm. I dig in the dirt and find a rock. Anybody see a rock? Right? Actually, here's one right at my feet. Oh no, that's a giant seed. It looks like a rock. Rock sits. I dig in the dirt and find a pill bug. Pill bug curls. I bet we'll find some of those today. I dig in the dirt and find a seed. That's what I just saw. Seed waits. I dig in the dirt and find a spider. Spider runs. I dig in the dirt and find a sprout. Sprout grows. I dig in the dirt and find dirt. I hope a lot of you have had a chance to put your hands in the dirt this spring. It feels so good. Dirt squishes. Everybody squish your dirt. Then I water the dirt and find, what do you think they're going to find? Mud. All right, everybody get your hands ready. We're going to try this again. We have a worm. This time we're going to make a spider, and we can make a pill bug curling up. We can make a rock. We can make a sprout going up through the soil. So let's see. Everybody ready? Okay, dig in. I dig in the dirt and find, what do you think he's going to find first? A worm. Worm wiggles, wiggle your worm. I dig in the dirt and find a rock. Make your rock. Rock. What does the rock do again? Rock sits. Very quiet. I dig in the dirt and find a pill bug. Curl up your pill bug. Pill bug curls. I dig in the dirt and find a seed. The seed waits. I dig in the dirt and find a spider. Everybody make a spider out of your hand. Spider runs. Can you make your spider run? I dig in the dirt and find a sprout. Sprout grows. I dig in the dirt and find dirt. Dirt squishes. Squish your dirt. Then I water the dirt with my watering can and find mud. All right, let's dig in. Let's take a look and see what we can find in my dirt, in my garden right here. I'm in San Diego, and I know you guys are up in farther north. Let's take a look and see what we can find, if we can find any of the things we saw in Dig in real life here in my garden. So it's a little tricky here. I'm going to turn the camera around. We're going to take a look, and as I said, my garden's pretty messy. Here is a pea plant. Hope you can see that. There's a pea growing on my pea plant, and inside, of course, there are peas. And if you know peas, you know that peas are actually the seeds of the pea plant. Let's take a look here. Open it up. Wow, it's really juicy. You hear that crunch? Oh boy, those look pretty good. Oh, they're falling. They're my little peas. And so those are the seeds of the pea plant. And I could take those seeds and let them dry out and then plant them next year to make more of the pea plant, or I could just eat them. All right, what else can we find in my garden? Let's see. If we look over here, I'm trying to see what you can see. You can see that I have some dirt. And I think, yes, a pill bug. Let's take a look at some of that dirt. I'm gonna grab a handful of it. And let me bring it over here so I can sit down with it. Let's take a look at the pill bug we just found. If you can see that. Oh yes, here we go. Okay, so we've got little bits of rock, little bits of plant, little bits of minerals in the soil. And then there was one pill bug. There he is. He's all curled up. I knew we'd find one. So let's see if we can get him to uncurl in my hand. And then you guys can take him out. Hard to see because there's a glare on my computer screen. Well, there we go. You can see in the palm of my hand. There's Mr. Pillbug. He's feeling a little nervous, so he's all curled up. But let's see if we can get him to uncurl. If he feels safe, he's probably still feeling a little unsafe there. He just wiggled his antennae. There he goes. He's just wiggling his legs. All right, Mr. Pillbug, you can uncurl. There he goes. He's going to uncurl there he's kind of walking away. So how many of you guys have found pill bugs in your garden? There he goes. He's going to walk along my hand. All right, I'm going to let him go back in the dirt because I think he'll feel safer there. Wonder what else we can find. You can see there are a ton of weeds, and one of my favorite books that I've written is called Weeds Find a Way. I think they might have shown that one earlier. But weeds are pretty cool because they're essentially, you're getting some free plants in your yard, and you can learn a lot by all those things that the weeds can do to survive. So let's take a look over here. I've got a lot of leaves on the ground in my garden, but I can just muck around and look, we do have some seeds. There's some seeds I'm finding, and lots of flowers and leaves. There's more sweet peas. So I invite you to go muck around in your garden, dig around in the dirt, see what you can find, and draw some pictures of them. That's how Mary Peterson started out with the drawings for her book for Dig In. She drew pictures of what she thought should go with my words. And then she made block prints, and she printed what she wanted to do, what she had done for the sketches. She printed it up. Then she put color in it and made the beautiful pictures. So let's see. Wonder what you can find in your gardens today. What lives in your dirt? Dirt is a wonderful place. Maybe some things are living underground. There's some things on top of the ground that are turning into dirt. If we look carefully at the dirt, we can see it's made of a lot of different things. So this dirt here from my garden, some of it has little pieces of plants that are decomposing. There is a little bit of minerals in it, like rocks that have ground down into tiny pieces. There are little twigs and leaves. It has a nice smell to it if you get a chance to smell your dirt. I love the smell of dirt. So what might you find in your dirt, and what could you draw pictures of? It's like a tiny world.
Cindy, I was just headed over to our compost pile because you inspired me to go take a look and see what's in there.
Excellent. I wonder who you're going to find in there.
Yeah, I go over there periodically to compost stuff for my lunch, but sometimes a week or two will go by and I'll forget to check on it. I mean, I'm not the only one who tends to it, but here's our compost. So yeah.
Very nice. You're breaking up a little bit, or maybe I'm frozen, but to me, it looks like you're frozen.
Hand them a trowel, or just have them use your hands like you were suggesting, and just see what
that's great.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing with us what's in your garden. Hopefully we've inspired some viewers to do the same on this slightly muddy day today.
All right, well, thanks. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy being outside and enjoy mucking around in your dirt and digging around. Take care. Bye.
Hi everybody, my name is Heather Davidson. I'm a lead naturalist here at the Environmental Nature Center. Today's science experiment is making sun prints. Sun prints are papers that are treated with chemicals that react to the sunlight. So your first step is to go outside and find something that you want to make a print of on your sun print paper.
The first step is to place the sun paper onto the cardboard, then using the push pins to secure the paper in place. Add your favorite leaf onto the center of the paper and let it set for 1 to 5 minutes underneath the sun. After the time is up, grab your bowl of water and place the paper in the water for around 1 minute. Make sure to get all the paper under the water. When the time is up, remove the paper and place it back onto the cardboard to dry. And you're done!
Have you ever made a fire before? Have you ever watched anybody make a fire before?
Yeah. I watched the fire.
You did?
I watched the fire.
So today, before we go make the fire, first we have to collect the things for the fire. A fire needs 3 things in order to survive. Sticks is one of those things that we need. That is our fuel. Good job. Good job. Good job. Next thing, everyone put your hands together and rub, and then touch your cheeks. Ooh, did that feel kind of warm? A little bit warm. A fire needs heat. So we got fuel, we need heat, and then our last thing we need is everyone take a big breath and breathe out. A fire needs air. So those are your 3 things that we need. So we're going to go collect some fuel. Everyone show me your pinkies. We are going to be collecting sticks that are about as thick as your pinky, and then everyone show me your arm, and as long as your arm.
We're going to talk about fire today, and I'm going to show you guys, if you're lost in the woods, how are you going to start a fire? With sticks.
There's a lot of sticks in the forest.
There is a lot of sticks in the forest. Not all those sticks help to make fire though, but when you make fire with sticks, it's called fire by friction. So I'm going to take the pencil or the spindle, and I'm going to put it in the bow like that. And I'm going to use the bow to create friction. See that rubbing in there? creating friction.
What is it creating?
What's happening?
Smoke.
What?
Smoke.
Smoke?
It smells yucky.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Does this look easy or hard? Yeah, this is a very hard thing to do.
What do you smell?
Oh, there it goes again. It shot out.
You can do it, Bo. You can do hard things.
I knew there was.
All right, we're gonna try again.
There you go. You guys make friction with your hands to help them? Let's make friction with our hands.
Oh, there it shot out again. Now what are we gonna do? We're gonna have to do it again. We're gonna try this one over here. Can you smell it?
What do you think the smell is? It smells yummy. Is that my bow? No, that's not my bow. My bow's not working. Oh, what do you guys see? What do you guys see? Look at it. You guys see it? Oh, you guys see it? What is it? That's not good. Right, what is it making?
You see that coal? I'm gonna put that coal into this bundle.
What is that?
Are you gonna throw it in the fire?
Uh-oh.
Which fire? Oh, that's a good thing to make it. You can see him go in there. You see how he's blowing on it? So what are we blowing on it?
No.
What is it? It's a fire department. It's oxygen. You guys say oxygen.
But bars have no
Remember how Heather's yeah, is he blowing hard or gentle? Put the masks down so they can get some faces. Brian, you can move your body down if you'd like to. Just get down one more. You can get down like Kate. It's starting to catch them.
There you go. There's some fire. Oh, it went out.
Give it some what? Give it more
What is happening? It smells good now.
It smells good now?
It does smell good now. Making more fire.
There we go.
There
There it goes.
How did it do that? I can't see. I can't see. I cannot see.
Now we're gonna sit on our bottoms. Sit down. Brody's sitting on our bottoms. What color did you guys see? Brody's sitting on our bottoms. Now then, you can choose to sit here or by Laura. You need to sit somewhere. Brian, you can sit down there.
Our shoes are getting warm.
What color did you guys see?
Orange.
It was orange. You said orange. Now what's happening to the car? What is this happening to the car? Don't Lily, if you're going to sit here, Noah.
Hey guys, what do we have here?
Fire.
Fire!
Fire.
Isn't that neat?
Make a bigger fire.
Make a bigger fire?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Noah bring over some sticks.
Can I bring?
You don't need to be too.
Brian, I'm going to sit down until you're going to turn. We'll have to.
There you go, perfect. Bring them on over. Now we need to be very, very careful around fire, right?
Right. Look, Mama, this is big. It is big. Throw it in.
Fire is for adults to tend, right?
Yeah.
But they might ask for your help, like I asked for Noah's help to help me to bring over the wood. It's getting bigger and bigger.
How do you guys make fire bigger?
And we're gonna have to keep feeding the fire.
Sometimes we can get a turn, but we can see if maybe we get a turn a little bit. That's what a little pig's house.
Now, did you see how I started out with very, very small sticks? And then we'll keep building up with bigger and bigger sticks. And these are old sticks from an old campfire we have. So we're gonna put them in there too.
The fire is getting bigger.
Fire's getting bigger.
How does the fire feel, though?
Fire feels very hot.
It's warming. My legs are getting warmer.
Very hot.
Warming you like
Smell it? Does it smell good? There's nothing like a campfire. What do you? Have you guys ever gone to a campfire? Yeah. What do you do at a campfire? Cookies? Did you have any s'mores over the campfire? Did you cook marshmallows? Hey guys, when you're collecting sticks out in the woods, and you want it to be smaller, how would I break this? Do you think I would break it like that?
Well, how do you guys break it sometimes when you can't do it?
You think I would break it over my knee? No, why not? Why wouldn't I just break it over my knee? You might hurt yourself, and you never want to hurt yourself, do you? So if you can't break it in your hands, you might want to go over to a tree.
Listen.
And you can use this and break it that way. And that way, you're not hurting yourself by breaking it over your leg or doing something that might be silly so that you get hurt. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming up.
Hello again, it's Mindy Schwartz from the ENC again, and thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully you're all busy bidding on things in our silent auction. I'm really excited to welcome another author who's going to join us today, this time from a little further away. Our last author, Cindy Jensen Elliott, was just from the southern part of Orange County, and actually right now we've got Alex Mcconnell, who's an author from New Orleans, Louisiana. Hi, Alex.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everybody's been having a great day.
Yeah, we're having a great day out here. We have a little bit of rain. What's the weather like in New Orleans, where you are?
The weather in New Orleans, I don't know if you can see, but it's absolutely beautiful today. Everybody left me and went to the beach, so.
All right, well, hopefully after you're done entertaining us, you can enjoy nature as well.
That's right, that's right.
Alex, is it okay if I share a little bit about you for our audience?
Please do.
All right, so Alex Mcconnell is a writer and entrepreneur born and raised in New Orleans. In 2010, Alex founded Big Boot Books and published his first book, The Little Who Dat Who Didn't. Since then, Alex has published numerous books, and in 2012, he founded Write. I'm going to ask you what that acronym stands for in a minute, Alex. a youth publishing program that transforms students around the world into published authors. Alex has visited more than 100 organizations around the world to share his books and to encourage kids to read, write, and follow their dreams. Alex was honored as one of Gambit Magazine's top 40 under 40 in 2012. In 2013, Alex was selected as an honorary board member for First Book of GNO, an organization that provides new books to children in need, addressing one of the most important factors affecting literacy, access to books. Alex is now virtually visiting educational institutions all over the world to share his new book, Boom, and his passion for his three loves: nature, knowledge, and New Orleans. And we are so glad that we share that passion for literacy with you. Can you tell me what WRITE stands for?
So WRITE stands for Write, Read, and Illustrate to Educate. And the idea came from the feeling I got when I published my first book. It was called The Little Who Dat Who Didn't. And this book made me feel so good. I got to be on the news, radio, newspaper, that I decided I wanted to help kids all over the world write and publish their own books. And that's what WRITE is all about.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks for being here today. And we're happy to have you share with us whenever you're ready.
All right. So in New Orleans, we always start off with a little music. So here we go. Hey, that's how they do it. All right, that's a different book. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alex Mcconnell. That was a little snippet from one of my favorite books, Thorn in My Horn. You can check it out on my website or on Amazon at Big Boot Books. Just a little about me. I'm an author. I'm from New Orleans. I love to write. I self-publish all of my books. I help students all over the world self-publish their books as well. And during the pandemic last year, I actually wrote a new book titled Bloom. Okay, so this is a really cool book. It's called Bloom, The Story of the World's First Flower. This book literally popped into my head one day while I was working, and then I wondered what the world's first flower was like. I did a little research and I found out. So here's a little story I'm going to share with you, and hopefully I can actually share some of the science with you when we're done. Bloom, written by Alexander Brian McConnell. This book is dedicated to the world's first flower and to my grandmother, Kate Mola. For if you two never existed, neither would I. There we go. In a time long before, when nothing roamed the earth and the land was rocky and bare, all life that existed lived beneath the sea. Although the oceans were filled with life, above the surface, there were no birds in the sky, no beasts on the ground, and no bugs in the dirt. But all of that was about to change. You see, somewhere, we aren't sure exactly where, but somewhere near a lake or a pond or on the shores of the ocean, plants began leaving the sea to live life on land. And not very well at first, nor for very long, but over time, these plants got better and better at living above the surface. At first, they came in the form of algae, or what looked like green slime or goo. But over millions of years, this goo evolved some very special skills and grew some very special parts to help it survive. They grew stems and shoots and leaves and roots. They thrived on light from the sun and water from the rain. And as the plants lived, died, and decayed, much of the land was converted to soil. This made the world an even better place for plants to be. As time went on, this little green goo now looked a lot more like the plants we see today. What's even more amazing is that these plants eventually grew everywhere. At one time, Earth was completely covered with beautiful, lush green plants. cooling the planet as they took in carbon dioxide, and making life on land possible as they released oxygen into the atmosphere. Plants became essential to life on land, providing food, water, and shelter for many of nature's creatures. Soon, however, plants were about to give nature even more. Oh, yeah. One day, something new began to grow. It wasn't a root or a branch or a trunk or a leaf. Well, actually, it was a leaf, but it was different from every other leaf before it. It was the world's first flower. It was colorful, smelled sweet, and had never existed before. As the sun rose, the petals of the flower began to open. But then, just like that, it shriveled up and fell to the floor. After some time, another flower appeared. It was bigger and smelled sweeter than the flower before it. It was stronger and lived longer. But then the flower shriveled up and fell to the floor. And then there were no more flowers. Around the world, every now and then, a flower would appear in a bush or on a plant or in a tree, sometimes here, other times there, sometimes 4 at a time, other times just one, but most times, none at all. But one day, when the air was just right and the sun was ready to shine on their petals, and the plants were full from the rains, and the wind could carry their scent, and nature could drink their nectar, all of the world's flowers opened up at once, and the planet bloomed. Ever since that day, plants have shared their flowers with the world, giving its nectar to the hummingbirds and its pollen to the bees, drastically transforming life on our planet as we know it. The end. All right, some cool flower facts. So first of all, this image right here is what scientists believe the world's first flower looked like. Now, they aren't exactly sure, but they've done a lot of research, and I've actually got to meet the scientists who was in charge of the project. The name of the project was the E-Flower Project. And what they did was they took descriptions of flowers that had been around for over 3 centuries, all the way back to the 1700s. Scientists, explorers, people who had written down different descriptions of flowers over time. They combined that information with the DNA family tree of plants going back for hundreds and hundreds of years. They combined that information together and they found the most likely common traits that would go back to a common ancestor. And although this is the model that scientists came up with, it doesn't mean that it's true, but it is our best guess right now. This image doesn't exactly describe what the world's first flower looked like, but it is probably what all flowers' most common ancestor looks like. So you can be pretty sure that the flowers you looked at today came from a flower that looked just like this. Also, before flowers existed, most plants use cones and seeds and different things like that to reproduce. But once flowers appeared on the scene, 9 out of every 10 plants use flowers as their preferred method to reproduce. That's amazing. A couple flower facts for you, and then we'll close it out with the song. As you know, flowers did not always exist. The first flower appeared approximately 140 million years ago, give or take 50, 60 million years, but who's counting? At that time, ferns and cone-bearing trees dominated the earth. The sunflower, another cool flower fact, the sunflower can produce toxic substances that can kill other plants nearby. Did you know that? Everybody just loves sunflowers, but they're secret killers. The bird of paradise also is a lovely plant that resembles a colorful tropical bird. My grandmother, who I mentioned at the beginning, that was her favorite flower. One last fact. The Titan arum holds the record as the tallest flower in the world, standing 10 feet, 2.5 inches tall. Now that's pretty tall, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this book. This is just one of my many books. As you can see, I've been writing and writing and writing and writing. And although most of my books are about my city and my hometown, New Orleans, we got some snowballs, we got some music. My new interest is nature. You know, I am writing a lot of books in nature now. I'm also working with classes around the world to help kids publish their own books. So if you are interested in my book, you can visit my website, bigbootbooks.com, or go on to Amazon. But more importantly, a group of third graders wrote a really cool book called Our Vote is Our Voice. Okay. So these group of third graders, they studied a bunch of voting activists who helped give everyone the right to vote. And they wrote some biographies and they wrote about some current voting issues. So if you're interested in that book, check it out on Amazon. Our Vote is Our Voice. I am very happy to be here. I hope I get to share more of my books with you soon. But in New Orleans, the only way we can end our show is if we do it with some music. So I'm going to steal a song from my favorite book called Thorn in My Horn. This is also a song in New Orleans. We call it the second line. This is how we end every party. This is how we end every wedding. This is even how we have funerals. And it doesn't mean that you got to go home, but you do have to get out of here. So here we go. Hope y'all
Thank
enjoyed
you so
that.
much.
Thank you,
That was
Mindy.
fantastic, Alex. I can't wait to add all of your books to our library here at the ENC.
Hey,
You're gonna make
I
great
can't wait to come back and do some more readings with y'all. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your spring fair. And thank you all for having me.
Thank you. And can I ask you one more nature question before you go?
Hey, you can ask me as many questions as you like. Go for it.
Yeah, since you're on a different part of the country from us, what has been one of your favorite signs of spring? Like when you wake up in New Orleans in like March or April, how do you know spring is on its way? What's the first sign you see?
You know, it's funny that you say that because the first sign of spring in New Orleans means snowball stands open up. Okay, so a snowball is not like a snow cone, it's a lot softer. The ice is like snow. And when these places start opening up, that's how you know it's spring. Another way I can tell is I have a huge canal in my backyard, and the birds start showing up around late February, early March. And by the time it's like right about now, I'll have about 16 or 15 different species of birds in my backyard. And that's how I know that it's almost time for summer, because then it gets really hot here.
Well, that's great. Thank you for sharing. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
All right. I'd love to come back. Y'all have a great day.
All right. Bye.
instruments we can pull out. We're going to do the ship tunes next. I think you'll understand why they're called that. You're all set. 1, 2, 1, 2. Delve back into our gospel side here for a song called Wayfaring Stranger. I am a poor wayfaring stranger, while traveling through this world of woe. But there's no sickness, toil, or danger in that bright land to which I go. Where going there to meet my mama? She said she'd meet me wherever. I'm only going over children. I'm only going over home. I know dark clouds will gather round me. I know my way will run stream, but beautiful fields lie just before me, where God's reaching their pictures free. But alone in there, see my loved ones gone before, live one by one. I'm only going over children. I'm only going over home.
This beautiful mandolin out there. Ready for a treat.
Yeah. Star of the Union.
Sing along to this one.
Recognize.
You're gonna regret inviting me.
Sometime morning when the sun is warm, I'll fly away to a home consciousness is warm. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I try, hallelujah, my mind. I'll fly away. When the shadows of the sky come, I'll fly away. Like the wind blown through the brightest storm, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I try, hallelujah, my God,
just a few more days and then I'll fly away. To your land where joys never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I die, I leave my body. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I die, I leave my body. I'll fly away. When I die, I leave my body. I'll fly away. One more time. When I die, I leave my body. I'll fly away. Sounds great out there.
Thank you, Sweetwater Creek Band.
Thank you for having us.
To the link.
And will there be any videos or no?
Hi everyone, my name is Sammy and I am a naturalist here at the ENC. Today I am sitting here in our desert plant community and I'm going to be reading you a story about some desert animals. I hope you enjoy. Way out in the desert. Way out in the desert, having fun in the sun, lived a mother horned toad and her little toady, one. Scurry, said the mother, I scurry, said the one. So they scurried all morning, having fun in the sun. There they are. Way out in the desert, where the wild flowers grew, lived a mother hummingbird and her little hummers, two. Sip, said the mother, we sip, said the two. So they sipped and they dipped where the wildflowers grew. Way out in the desert, near the Palo Verde tree, lived a mother javelina and her little piggies, three. Snooze, said the mother, we snooze, said the three, 'cause they rooted all night by the Palo Verde tree. Way out in the desert near the Octillo door lived a rattlesnake mother and her baby snakes, four. Rattle, said the mother, we rattle, said the four, so they rattled in the shadow of the Octillo door. Way out in the desert where the cactus bloomed and thrived lived a mother Gila monster and her little monsters, five. Burrow, said the mother, we burrow, said the five. So they burrowed and they dug where the cactus bloom and thrive. Way out in the desert, in a nest built of sticks, lived a mother roadrunner and her little chicks, six. Run, said the mother, we run, said the six. So they ran, chasing lizards near their nest built of sticks. There they are, chasing the lizards. Way out in the desert, where the saguaro reached to heaven, lived a mother jackrabbit and her little jacks, 7. Snuggle, said the mother, we snuggle, said the 7. So they snuggled all night, where the saguaro reached to heaven. Way out in the desert, on the old coral gate, lived an old scorpion mother and her little scorpions, 8. Hold on, said the mother. We'll hold, said the 8. So they rode on her back up the old coral gate. Way out in the desert, where the moon shone fine, lived a mother coyote and her little pups, 9. Howl, said the mother, we howl. Oh, said the 9. So they howled and they barked while the moon shone fine. Way out in the desert, in a prickly pear den, lived a mom tarantula and her little spiders, 10. Spin, said the mother, we spin, said the 10. So they spun all night in their prickly pear den. And that is the end. So in this story, way out in the desert, we were introduced to many different desert animals. Here at the ENC, we have several animal ambassadors that are from the desert, and I would love to share some of them with you today. Here with me right now, I have Fiesta. Fiesta is a snake that is found in our Southern California deserts. She is a rosy boa. And one thing I really like about rosy boas and Fiesta are that they have these really pretty stripes that are like an orangish tangerine color on her back, which I think are just beautiful. And you might notice right now that she's sticking her tongue out. I promise you, Fiesta is not being rude. She's actually just smelling the air. She uses her tongue to smell. I think that's an amazing thing about snakes. So right now, you might want to take a minute and try to smell the air with your tongue. Probably didn't work, but it was fun doing it. So this is Fiesta, our rosy boa, and I hope you enjoyed meeting her. This is Charlotte. Charlotte is a tarantula, and she's part of the arachnid family because she has 8 legs, 2 body parts, and she has fangs. This is Waffle. Waffle is a desert tortoise, and she is actually our California state reptile. So it's really special that we have Waffle here at the ENC to share with everyone. You can see that she has special adaptations that help her to survive and thrive in the desert. Looks like she's eating some desert mallow. Being from the desert, Waffle likes to eat flowers and grasses, and she especially loves her desert mallow. She has big, thick scales on her legs and her feet that help her to walk on warm sand. And you can see she has big claws that can help her dig burrows so she can hide out in holes where she could stay warm Or she could stay cool in a desert climate. Thank you for joining me today and learning about some of California's desert animals here at the ENC.
Hi, I'm Jaden and I'm one of the roasters here at Key & Coffee. We're super excited to be a part of the virtual Spring Fair once again this year. Last year we brought you a Hario V60 pour-over tutorial, and this year we're doing something similar, but this time with the Aeropress. I love this brewing method. It's super diverse, makes a really complex cup of coffee, and it's super great for on-the-go brewing, so if you're bringing it on a hike or something like that. If you did miss our Hario V60 pour-over video, that's up on our Key & Coffee YouTube channel. Feel free to check that out at a later date. I hope you enjoyed the video, and be sure to look for our promotions in your ENC Spring Fair to-go bags. Let's get into it. The items you'll need for this method are some high-quality filtered water and some way to heat it. I'll be using a gooseneck kettle, but you don't have to do that. Some fresh roasted coffee. I'll be using Keen Coffee, of course. I highly recommend it. A coffee grinder. All right, let's use something a little more reasonable, like a burr grinder like this. A scale if you're not going to be using the eyeballing it method. An Aeropress, of course, which comes with the necessary filters. And something to brew into. Just make sure that the mouth of the cup is wide enough to fit the Aeropress itself. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna heat some water to about 202 degrees Fahrenheit or about 94 degrees Celsius. I'm gonna be using a gooseneck kettle. That does make things a little bit easier, but thankfully you don't have to do that. So let's move on to our Aeropress here. We're gonna remove the filter cap. Then we're gonna grab one paper filter. Then we're gonna wet this. So what this does is it makes sure that no paper flavor from our paper filter actually gets into our coffee. Back to our Aeropress. So the Aeropress is basically just two parts, the main chamber and the plunger. So we're gonna take the plunger, put it back in, and we're gonna line it up right in the center of that number 4. That's not super important unless you are taking this on the go and you don't have a scale to measure things out. All right. Make sure you use this funnel. If you get any grounds on the edge here, it will make it into your cup of coffee. So, we're gonna be using 35 grams of coffee for this method. You're gonna wanna grind this on metal filter. If you're getting it ground at a coffee shop or something, you can let them know metal. That'll be perfect. But if you're just doing it at home, somewhere between your normal paper filter and something like French press. So just a little bit coarser than paper filter. Okay, So let's weigh out 35 grams. Even professionals spill a little bit sometimes, but that is 35 grams, perfect. So remove that little funnel. So that's gonna be, if you can't see, it's right in the middle of number 2. So far, number 4, right in the middle of number 2, perfect. Now we're gonna add 100 grams of hot water. We're gonna add this pretty slowly. Should take you somewhere around 30 seconds. So you're gonna pour maybe a little bit slower than you would think. All right, for those 100 grams, we're right in the center of number 1 now. Makes it very easy. Now we're gonna take our little paddle here and agitate for about 30 seconds as well. In the original recipe, she uses chopsticks, which is actually pretty helpful. It makes sure you're not gonna slosh any of this outside of the Aeropress, but as long as you're pretty gentle, it's not too shabby. All right, gonna set this aside. Now we're gonna toss our filter cap right back on here. All right, set our scale to the side and grab our coffee. Now we're gonna flip this over. Make sure your cup is empty. You can just set it right on top, flip it over, and then we're gonna press, again, pretty slowly, somewhere around 30 seconds. Be sure to keep a hand on the bottom here. It can be a little hard to press, but avoid using 2 hands just because if you're at an angle, it'll maybe slip out from under you. It's not the best. All right. All right, now when I think I'm finished, I'll take the top off, make sure it's done dripping, maybe give it one more little press. Perfect. Gonna set that to the side. You're gonna need to empty out your Aeropress, which is insanely easy. Set that to the side. Toss paper filter in there. Then we're just gonna, boop, plunge all that out. Gonna rinse off any and all coffee grounds. Okay, so now the last step is to just add 100 grams more hot water. So I'm actually gonna add it to the Aeropress, which I just rinsed out. There we go. So again, if you just line it up with that number 4, we're gonna be just about midway on number 2, maybe just a hair below. Then we're just gonna add that. Perfect. And we're done. That easy, already clean, wonderful cup of coffee. This method's very fast, so if you're used to doing something like pour overs, this is gonna be a little bit hotter than you're used to. Let it cool off for just a second. Delicious. I absolutely love the Aeropress, not just for the complex cup of coffee it makes, but for how diverse its uses are. Even in this method alone, we could have swapped out the last 100 grams of hot coffee for hot milk to make sort of a mock latte or a macchiato. Or we could have done the same thing that Carolina originally did in her recipe and used 60 grams of hot water and 40 grams of room temp. That way your coffee's not too hot and you can start drinking right away. The possibilities are literally endless, and I highly encourage you to look up some recipes from other World Aeropress Championship winners. But for the highest quality coffee and all other things Kian Coffee, head on over to kiancoffee.com. Everything there is fresh roasted, which means whatever you get will have been roasted within just the past few days. Thank you so much for watching our video, and be sure to subscribe for more specialty coffee videos and tutorials like this one.
What is the scientific name for the beautiful and golden California poppy? This is multiple choice. So A, Linomium californica, B, Amiria californica, or C, Eschlosia californica.
Oh, it's C.
That is correct. Nice. Number 2, after rattlesnakes mate in the spring, females give birth during what time of year?
Buzz. Summer.
Yeah, mid to late summer. So good job. Okay. Every spring, migratory birds fly along this and stop in Southern California. What is the name of this route spanning from Alaska to South America? Okay, who had that first?
It was me.
Okay.
It's the Pacific Flyway.
Good job. Nice. Name the bird you might see at the ENC that is bright blue in color and appears to be wearing a rusty orange vest. Ooh, Heather?
California bluebird.
Nice. Good job. Okay, next. In the Central Valley, where chaparral is abundant, we can expect to see an impressive first spring, meaning abundant wildflowers, following what type of natural event? Heather?
Rain.
Ooh, buzz.
Yeah.
A super bloom.
So think more like what would set off a super bloom? What kind of event would in the chaparral area?
It's not rain.
I guess it could be rain. Technically. I was thinking fire for regeneration.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
But I guess both, right? Technically, rain also helps. Okay, in Death Valley National Park, this unusual and very adaptable aquatic desert creature spawns during the months of March and April. What is it? This is kind of a tricky one.
What's the question?
So they can be found in Death Valley, and they're a very adaptable, very unusual aquatic desert creature. Yeah.
Mud pups?
That's close. It's the desert pupfish.
Oh.
So I think that
is mud.
You're on the right track.
Mud pups.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why I know that.
Yeah. Okay, and you wouldn't think that they would live in the desert, but it's only in this like.
No, it's like a little fishy fish.
Mm-hmm. It's a little fishy fish, exactly. Okay, what type of whale makes the longest seasonal migration?
Buzz.
Yes.
Blue whales?
Humpback?
I have gray whales.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, this type of fish spawns between April and June and can be seen on California beaches at night.
Ooh,
yeah.
The grunion.
Nice. Due to a tiebreaker, we have to have our naturalists compete for the final question and the final point. So the question is, what is the scientific name of the California desert tortoise? Is it Strix occidentalis, Sus scrofa domesticus, bison, or Gophius agassizi?
Gophius agassizi.
Correct. Woo! How do you feel now that you've won?
I feel great.
Where are you going?
To Disneyland.
Oh, amazing. Thanks for playing.
Hi, my name is Bailey Simcoe, and today I'm at the Environmental Nature Center located in Newport Beach. I will be talking with Assistant Director Lori Whalen, and we are going to be talking about trail liners that I have installed as my Girl Scout Go to Work project and why they're important to the habitat and wildlife. So, Lori, can you tell us why the ENC likes to use trail liners?
Sure. We use trail liners so that it's really clear to people where they're supposed to be on the trail. It keeps our community visiting safe. It also keeps our habitat safe from visitors. So it keeps people from accidentally stepping off the trail onto plants that are trying to grow or onto animals' homes. And it even keeps people from accidentally stepping into poison oak.
Now, I know when I was building these trail liners, I was told by the ENC to use very specific materials. Can you tell me why it was so important to the ENC to use these materials?
Absolutely. There are several reasons. These new trail liners look relatively naturalistic, but are still easy to see and help visitors identify where the trails are. Also, we wanted the liners to match some other liners that were recently installed to create a visually appealing look. We plan to continue replacing old liners that are rotting out with new liners like the ones you installed, creating a cohesive look. We also made sure to use pressure-treated lumber, which will resist termites, rot, and fungal decay. It will hopefully last for 40 years. More importantly, the lumber was treated for ground contact. That means the lumber won't leach toxins into the soil. Bailey, I would love to thank you and your fellow volunteers for taking on this project on behalf of the Environmental Nature Center. It will serve us for years to come.
You're welcome. I would like to thank the Environmental Nature Center for allowing me to do my Girl Scout Gold Award here. And I would like to say the Environmental Nature Center is a wonderful place to come. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please visit the Environmental Nature Center's website and enjoy nature responsibly.
Hi, my name is Harmony Woolley, and I am a volunteer with the Orange County Birds of Prey Center. I also work at the Environmental Nature Center. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Orange County Birds of Prey Center. At the Bird of Prey Center, we rehabilitate wild birds of prey. That goes from the animal control brings them in, take them to the vet, and then they end up at our center. Basically, it's like the physical therapy part for the birds of prey. And when they are all healed up, what you can do is you can sponsor a bird and come and release it at our center. We hand you the bird, and you go ahead and release it back into the wild once they are ready for that. So who I have here right now is Luna. Luna is a western screech owl. She came to us a couple years back to the Bird of Prey Center. She's from San Clemente, California. She couldn't be released back into the wild because Luna imprinted. Imprinting is what I like to basically say is your baby bonding time. I know parents have that special like skin-on-skin contact. It's where you spend that special time with your baby. Well, birds do something similar but not similar. When they are born, there's about a 2-week period where their vision is coming to, and it's clearing up, and it's imperative in that time. The first thing they need to see as their eyesight's getting better and better is going to be another bird. So she needed to see another western screech owl or her parent. That's who would be in the nest with her. And unfortunately, when she was being taken care of at the hospital, not our facility, another facility, they didn't keep her with another western screech owl. So she saw people in and out feeding her, and she imprinted on humans. So you can't undo when an animal imprints. So therefore, Luna will be one of our education birds. So she has now been with us at the center for, I believe, 3 years. 3 years now, and she will be 4, or she did turn 4. It's past March. Let me see if I can get Luna to look at you. She's busy looking behind. You see something interesting over there. There we go. Did you hear that clack?
Oh, I did. Can you tell us about what that means?
So the little clacking you heard, she makes that noise with her beak, and that is a warning. Just like back up, stay away, and they'll make that clacking. They just clack their beak together. It's a fairly large sound from such a small beak. She's just observing her surroundings right now.
Do you think she's noticing anything right now that set her off a little bit?
Your hat.
Take it off.
Luna, we don't quite know why, but hats are not her favorite, and Mindy seems to always love to have her hats on. So now the hat's off, Luna's relaxed.
I made an exception for you, Luna. I took it off just for you. Can you tell us about some of Luna's special features that help her to survive? Like if she were to be in the wild right now, what kinds of features would be really helping her out?
Her hearing. So let's see, owls. A lot of people think because they such big eyes and that they think they usually can see at night really well, right? That's how their hunting is by sight, and they can see at nighttime, and that's what allows them to do that. But truly, owls hunt with their hearing. They have asymmetrical hearing, which is they have one hole on the side of their head here and then one hole here, and they triangulate their prey. So they hear something, and you'll see owls, sometimes they'll be bobbing their heads. Luna will like to do that. She'll bob her head because they're trying to triangulate where that sound is, where their prey is coming from. So they use their hearing for their hunting. And what she just did right now is called a rouse. She shakes, and she will only do that. That lets me know she's comfortable and she feels safe. She's just basically realigning her feathers.
She feels better now that I took my hat off.
Yeah, she appreciates that, Mindy.
I noticed that she's pretty small. Do people ask you a lot if she is a baby owl?
Oh, yes. Luna is not a baby owl. She is full grown. I like to tell people that owls and birds of prey come in all shapes and sizes, right? Just like us humans do. Luna is a female, so she's going to be larger than a male. Birds of prey have what is called sexual dimorphism, and that's basically that the females are larger than the males. Or it could be that the males are larger, but with birds of prey, it's that the females are larger than the males. So when we're talking about birds of prey, we are talking about, see right here, right. Okay, put her right back in front of me. So this is a little bit of a new environment for Luna, so she got a little spooked there, and she did what is called baiting, just trying to fly off of my glove. I think she'll settle and she'll be fine.
Do you think she was spooked by that crow call?
Possibly.
Yeah.
And she might see something we're not really seeing right now as well. Yeah. We have a lot of other birds of prey here that are larger. I always see redtail, Cooper's hawk. I've known that there's been a great horned owl, which would all be much larger than her. And normally she'd be asleep right now and she'd be safe from them. But she's out. I have her out in the open. Yep, there's one right behind us. Somebody doing something.
What's one more thing you can share with us about Luna? Something neat about her?
Let's see. Luna is we don't have the right tree. If we had an oak tree, Luna camouflages wonderfully. Even though, I'm going to hold her up to this one, a piece of the bark here. And I just want to show you how well she camouflages. That is, if you look, I'm going to put her up close, but if you look at her chest, all those little feathers, they kind of resemble leaves almost, or like the bark of a tree. So I'm going to try to hold her up, and we can see how well Luna can camouflage. But probably not. Maybe. You see her up here?
Mm-hmm.
Mindy says she can see you, Luna, so you're not doing a good job. Up. Up. She likes your tree, Mindy.
I probably wouldn't notice her if I was just walking by, though, and wasn't aware there was a bird.
Here, does that do a little better?
Oh, yeah.
That's much better. Look at you. You fits right in.
Well done, Luna. You're blending in very well.
And she liked that spot, too. It's like she knows. Okay. So Luna's really great at camouflaging, and they are cavity nesters and dwellers. So she's going to find a hole in a tree or a little tight crevice, and she'll get herself in there nice and tight so no other predators see her.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing all that information with us about Luna. Could we meet another bird of prey?
Sure. So I am back with my next friend. This is a barn owl. Most of people will see these in the evening time, around dusk. You might even hear them. They make a really noticeable shrieking sound. They are called a barn owl, but they kind of screech. The screech owl does not screech, but the barn owl does a wonderful screeching sound. And if you notice this barn owl, see his pale coloring? And he's not a very large bird, so like we spoke about before, the females are going to be larger than the males, so our guess would be that this is a male. And if we want to look, I'm going to bring him a little closer to the camera. Here's Luna down there. Is that good? Mm-hmm. So if you look, barn owls, like I was saying, just like with the screech owl, so the barn owl, if you look around his face, all those feathers around his face. So he can actually, those are called facial discs around both eyes, and he can actually manipulate and move those to help the sound go into his ear. He also has asymmetrical hearing. And so he'll move those facial discs and to be able to hear his prey and triangulate where it's at. And he also, so Mindy, I'm gonna point out, I'm gonna bring him a little closer. So if you see right down the center, you can kind of see like a dark. It's where the facial discs both come together, but he can, when he relaxes, he'll separate them. So as you can see, it's a much different color than our screech owl. So would you say that this guy would camouflage really well in the tree? Yeah, so that's probably why they don't hang out in trees too much. So the barn owl, they like to, where they got their name from, hang out in barns or at the top or in buildings or in high, steep places where they can hide and cache their food.
Can you tell us a little bit about how their beak is unique compared to like songbirds or water birds?
Sure. So birds of prey, their beaks are hooked. So we like to call them, they have a hooked beak. And that is for the ripping and tearing of their prey. So where different songbirds, you know, they're either nectivores or they eat seeds or they're getting worms from the dirt. So all depends upon, you know, the shape of the beak's going to matter. They don't need a hooked beak for ripping and tearing. And then I don't have here with me, but if a falcon, so they have a hooked beak and then they also have an extra notch on the side, and that's called a tooth.
I assume they eat a lot of rodents, but are there any other animals common around here that owls like this might like to eat?
Yeah, they'll eat snakes, they'll eat lizards, let's see, they'll eat rabbits, squirrels, gophers, and possibly the larger owls can even get your smaller pets. So your great horned owl could possibly get a small dog or a cat. So that's why it's important to keep our pets inside at night. Not only do coyotes get them, but great horned owls will also grab them as well.
Are there any other features they have that help them catch their prey?
So they have what are called nice sharp talons. So birds of prey have talons, and that is they use their feet to grab, and then they use their beak to rip and tear. They're very sharp and strong. Their feet are have like a ratchet system. I don't know, just like the tool, you turn it one way and just gets tighter and tighter. That's how their feet work. So they are actually very, very strong.
I guess that's why you're wearing a glove, huh?
That is why I have this wonderful leather glove on, because if not, it would hurt really bad.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about barn owls or owls in general?
They are very silent flyers, and this guy I'll hold. Their feathers are much different than, let's say, a hawk or a falcon. And that's what helps them fly silently at night and which helps them catch their prey. So if I'm going to hold this owl a little bit closer so you can see one of his feathers, and they have a serrated edge, which is just like an uneven edge, to where if you had a hawk or a falcon's feather, it would be more of a nice sharp edge, which actually doesn't, it makes them louder when they fly. So you can see this edge here on this. You see that edge? So that is what owls have that is different than, let's say, a hawk or a falcon. And that is what helps them be such quiet flyers. People always say that about owls. They're so quiet, and they are.
So for folks watching at home, what can they do to help birds of prey and the Orange County Bird of Prey Center?
You can, first of all, you can volunteer, or you can sponsor a bird. I feel like that is a great way to help out the birds and then also make a connection with the birds. Another thing you can do every day in your daily life is to not use rodenticides. Please, please, please. That us humans are the #1 reason why these birds come to us. It's either we're putting poison out, and some people just don't know, but you know, things you have to kill rats or nuisance pests around your house. That's what these birds are here to do. I believe that barn owls kill upwards of at least 1,500 to like 3,000 rodents a year. So a bird like this could take care of that problem, and you can put nesting boxes up for them, different types of owls, but just no rodenticides or sticky traps. The sticky traps as well, we get a lot of birds that come in because they got stuck on a sticky trap.
Great. And do you want to share the website for the Bird of Prey Center so people can make donations?
Yes. If you go to www.ocbpc.org, there is a button on there that you can donate or sponsor a bird, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Well, thanks, Harmony. Thank you for sharing these amazing birds with us today.
Thank you.
Ribbit! Ribbit!
Hi, I'm Cindy Jensen Elliott, and I'm going to be reading to you from my book, Weeds Find a Way, with the permission of Simon & Schuster and Beach Lane Books. I hope you enjoy it. I'm here in my garden in Southern California, and I hope that we can spend some time finding some weeds together when we're done reading the book. Weeds Find a Way. Words by Cindy Jensen Elliott. Pictures by Carolyn Fisher. This book is dedicated to the children and staff of Explorer Elementary Charter School and their wonderfully weedy garden. That is my dedication. And Carolyn Fisher's dedication says to Jim and Beth Fisher, my favorite farmers. Weeds find a way to live where other plants can't grow. Each weed carries thousands of seeds, each waiting to make a new weed. Weeds send their seeds into the world in wondrous ways, fluffing up like feathers and floating away in the wind. Swirled into prickly burrs that stick to socks and fur, poking into pants and paws like tiny needles. Or shot out of tight, dry pods like confetti from a popped balloon. Weed seeds find a way to wait, sitting still in icy earth all winter. Or baking in shimmering summer heat on a white-hot sidewalk without a whisper of wind. Till clouds billow and soft rain spills, carrying them floating downstream to sprout. In the smallest, strangest place they could possibly live. Weeds find a way to grow by the side of a windy road, in the crack in the cellar of a creaky old house, in a tangle of tree roots at the top of a spine of stone, or wedged in the worn sole of a tattered sneaker. Weeds find a way to stay, reaching deep with a grip so strong the stem always breaks first, leaving the living roots behind to sprout again. Or pinching into pieces the minute you try to tug them out, spreading into a spray of plant parts that find new spots to take root. Weeds find a way to fight, hooking tender skin with horny thorns, stinging unsuspecting tongues with invisible prickles, and surprising hungry insects with sap so tart it could turn a tongue inside out. Weeds find a way to be loved, sending up flares of riotous red, flags of green, umbrellas of the finest white lace, making a place sing with bees and birds, exhaling breath as sweet as sleep. Weeds find a way to stay, unexpected guests who just happen to bring the whole family along. And then at the end of the book, there's a section called Meet the Weeds. Weeds are plants that are often thought to be of no value, and they grow in places where people do not want them to grow. By this definition, any plant could be considered a weed if it is growing in a place where someone does not want it to be. But some so-called weeds are actually misunderstood and underappreciated plants that are native to a region, and have multiple uses. For example, miner's lettuce, Claytonia perfoliata, is native to many areas of North America and has a lovely, delicate flavor. In a farmer's field, however, miner's lettuce is considered a pest. Other weeds are invasive plants that have been introduced to a region. Some of these, such as dandelion, purslane, licorice, and horehound, can be used as food or medicine. Many invasive plants migrate around the world as decorative landscaping. If they're well adapted to a climate of a region, however, they can easily escape yards and spread to natural areas. As they spread, these weeds can crowd out native vegetation, block streams, and drive away wild animals. Examples include kudzu from Japan, which grows throughout the South, and the South American Hottentot fig, also called ice plant, which rolls over the coastal canyons of the Southwest like a flat green carpet. Good or bad, weeds offer endless opportunities to study one of nature's most wonderful tools, adaptation. Adaptations are the physical qualities or behaviors created by natural selection that enable a living thing to survive in a particular environment. A weed's adaptations may include physical structures that help a plant avoid being picked, such as a stem that breaks when it's pulled out, so the roots are left behind, or thorns, or defenses to prevent the plant from being eaten, such as thorns or poison. Adaptations may also include the way a weed reproduces by attracting pollinators with color or scent, or scattering seeds via wind, water, or wildlife, or by sending out long underground runners. A weed may also be able to survive on little more than the hope of rain or the tiniest crack in a concrete world. Weeds are amazing. So go outside, look around. You don't need a garden to know that nature is at work. Chances are, wherever you stand, a weed is nearby, working its way through the soil, finding a way to live and bloom, adapt and grow in tough times and desolate places, making the world more beautiful, one blossom at a time. May you find your way during this COVID outbreak, and may you find your way to make the world a more beautiful place. Now let's take a look at my garden and some of the weeds that I found there today. So this morning, walking around my neighborhood, I found this weed, which many of you probably know. It's called sourgrass. It's in the oxalis family, and it has a very bitter taste, so you don't want to eat much of it. You could taste it, but it's very, very sour and could give you a stomachache if you really ate a lot of it. I also found a weed which you should not eat, called bird's beak. It has these little purple flowers on it, and the long seed pods look kind of like the beaks of birds, and so it's called bird's beak. It's a really pretty little weed, but it's very invasive. I also found a kind of a plant in the wild pea family. I'm not sure of its name, but it's a little weed that has tiny, tiny yellow flowers, and it has, I just know it as a member of the wild pea family. Here's a plant that looks a little bit like a dandelion. It's in the chrysanthemum family, I believe, and it is, this grows everywhere. I'm sure many of you have seen it. The flowers will form fluffy tops and float away on the wind. This is a plant, tiny, tiny weed called chickweed, and chickweed grows very low to the ground. Apparently chickens like it, though my chickens never seem to be very fond of it. I don't have chickens right now, but I had chickens. Anyway, it's very light and delicate, and it grows in big mats, and the stems are kind of stretchy, so when you try to pull them out, they stretch a little bit like elastic. Of course, you'll see a lot of different kinds of grasses. So grasses are really an amazing plant. They have long, thin leaves. That's one of the hallmarks of a grass. Has a round stem. The stem is rounded, not square. And you'll see that the seeds grow in different ways. So this particular kind of grass has these long fronds that will grow into sort of sticky seeds that are going to poke into my socks if this gets too high. So look for different kinds of grasses. You'll recognize them by their long, thin leaves. And then finally, I'm not really sure what plant this is. I just know that when I first moved into my house, this weed, which is really beautiful, had with a lot of purple flowers, tiny, tiny purple flowers on it. Here's one of the tiny flowers. It was covered with black fuzzy caterpillars. And unfortunately, at that time, I pulled the plants out since it was a weed in my grass. And now I wish I hadn't, because of all those caterpillars would have been growing into beautiful butterflies. So anyway, I hope you have a good time today. You can go onto my website, www.cindyjensenelliott.com, and check out you can download free curriculum and to get you outside into nature, and spend some time pulling up some of your weeds, drawing pictures of them, and then see what you can do today. Enjoy being outside. Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, before we start, if I hold that there, can you read it?
Yep.
Okay. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. It means the world to us that you cared enough to check in and support us with our virtual spring fair. Next year we'll be here in person. Thank you to everyone who participated in today's event, and thanks again to our sponsors, because without their tremendous support, not only for this event, but throughout the year here at the Nature Center, events like this would not be possible. Please don't forget to visit our online auction. It closes promptly at 3 p.m. Visit this website to place your bids. Don't forget to check your bids, because someone might have outbid you. We have until about 3 p.m. to ensure that you get that item that you've really had your eyes on. Lots of great stuff for adults and kids. My favorites are those one-of-a-kind special days here at the Nature Center. We only offer them at special events like our spring fair. So make sure that you bid on those and come join us here at the Nature Center for some very special times. We hope to see you at the ENC very soon. We have plenty of programs scheduled and events scheduled. Check out our calendar at encenter.org. Remember, we'll be open from 10 to 3 starting real soon, weekends starting in June. And thanks again for your tremendous support of this event and for your support throughout the year. Take care. Bye.